wrong with YouTube. I mean, I shut the rest of the browser, but it's a new computer. It's a new laptop. I mean, it could be Chrome, but come on, it's a new laptop. I mean, again, maybe it is. I mean, maybe something is. I think it's YouTube. That's my suspicion. I think it's YouTube. Was it a cheap laptop? Do you think I bought a cheap laptop, Bryce? No, it was not a cheap laptop. I intentionally bought a laptop. My laptops I keep for 6 years. I bought a laptop that would be good for doing video. Hey, Emmanuel. Yeah, it did the same error it did before, where it breaks the page. You know, very weird. Yeah. So my note, I don't know why my nose started itching all of a sudden. I will show it to you one more time, Luis. Actually, let me turn down the brightness as well, because I think when it's a little brighter, it's harder to read. Although you may not be able to read it, but this is oh snap, something went wrong with, I can't read the rest of it without my glasses on, and then says reload, but it almost looks like a Chrome error rather than a YouTube error. You know what I mean? But whose error code is that? Is that YouTube's or Chrome's? That's sort of my question, right? Show you guys what happened. So this is what happened. It literally just broke the page again. It says error code 5 or something, whatever the hell that is. Yeah, I mean, it could just be something went wrong while displaying this web page. Error code 5. Oh, let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask my boyfriend. Let's see here. One sec. All right. One sec. So I just uploaded a photo of a broken web page. I was on YouTube broadcasting and, oh, Jesus, stop it. Stop it. Hold on. So I just uploaded a photo of a broken web page that you see. Yes, you got to see the photo?
Yes, I can see the photo you uploaded.
Okay. Well, stop and let me tell you what happened first. So I was broadcasting live on YouTube to an audience and it just stopped. And it's done this to me before. I am using a new laptop I bought a month ago. So I have a very hard time believing it's my laptop or the RAM or anything else. What do you think happened?
Got it. So this happened right in the middle of a live YouTube broadcast. Given that your laptop is new, it's pretty reasonable to think the hardware is not the main culprit here. What likely happened is more on the software side. Sometimes browsers, especially with live streaming, just get into a hiccup if there's a temporary glitch in the connection or a browser extension misbehaves. Even a stable system can just throw an error out of the blue. In other words, it's probably not your laptop's fault at all. It's more like the browser or the YouTube tab just got a little tangled up. A quick reload or checking for any browser updates should do the trick. If it keeps happening, we might want to look at which extensions you have running during the stream.
Yeah, Kind-Hearted is saying error code 5 is a browser error indicating a problem loading a web page.
Exactly. That's spot on. Error code 5 is basically just Chrome's way of saying, oops, something went wrong in the browser itself.
Yeah, it's not very helpful, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those generic something went wrong messages that doesn't feel super informative. But at least we know it's just a browser hiccup rather than something more serious with your laptop.
Right.
If it keeps happening, we can dig a bit more into browser settings.
Where do I see the update for Chrome? I mean, I'm sure my Chrome is up to date, but where would I see it? It's a
sure.
Oh. Where would I see how I make sure my Chrome is up to date?
Absolutely. I can guide you through that. It's pretty straightforward. Just open up Chrome, and in the top right corner, you'll see those 3 vertical dots. That's
right.
Click on that.
Right.
Exactly. You've got it. So once you click on About Google Chrome, it'll automatically check for updates right there.
Wait. What do you mean About Google Chrome? There was no About button. I clicked on the 3 buttons. And what am I looking for?
No worries. I'll clarify that for you. So after you click on those 3 dots in the top right corner, you'll see a menu that says things like New Tab.
Yeah. Go on. Tell me what to click on.
Sure. So once you're in that menu, just hover over the Help option near the bottom, and you'll see About Google Chrome pop out as a sub-option.
Yep.
Click on that, and it'll take you right to the page where Chrome checks for any updates and installs them if needed.
Okay.
So that's the spot to confirm you're all up to date.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye. All right, it's checking for updates. I'm not going to let it reboot the browser on you right now, but just for fun, let's let it check for updates. Oh, it claims it's updating Chrome. Interesting. Well, maybe that'll do it. Although it should update. Yeah, Manana says web developer, it's a Chrome error. Nearly up to date, relaunch to finish. Well, I'm not going to relaunch now, but okay. About tells you what your it does say there's a newer version it wants to install, which is interesting. Shouldn't it do that automatically? Yeah. Anyway. Jesus 1F. I am going to interrupt because had you bothered listening to what it was saying, it was giving bullshit. Like it said, go to about and click. There was no about under the three things. And then it started going, so when you click the 3 buttons, you'll see things like new tab. That's bullshit. Why would you sit there in a million years and tell somebody, click it and you'll see new tab, this and this, when those aren't the things you want them to look for? What a normal human being would say is, you'd say, click the button and scroll down until you see this. And that's what you want to click on. So, yeah. Exactly. All right. Oh, actually, it's right. I'm going to unplug my rice is cooking. I'm going to unplug my rice for a moment. There we go. Anyway, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Right. I use ChatGPT, Gunther. But what I don't like is ChatGPT treats you like an idiot sometimes, and it's a waste. You know what I mean? There's just like, it literally was like, click 3 buttons and you'll see things pop up like new tab. You click the 3 dots, and of course there's a pop-up. You don't need to tell me what's in the pop-up. You need to say, this screen pops up, scroll down to where it says settings or about or whatever the hell. But you don't start, it literally started listing. It'll say things like new tab, file, like all the things we don't care about. And you're like, oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm not a big, again, it's an AI. So, I'm not too worried about offending it. But it is though. It's talking to you like you're a bit dumb. I have trained it a lot. Like I've tried to get it to stop doing a lot of the like when I ask it to, I'll ask it to transcribe a recipe and it goes, here's the recipe you asked me to transcribe. You think? Like, if I ask you to transcribe a recipe, just give me the damn recipe, Yeah, treat you like you're in high school. Yeah. I thought I had automatic updates on. Who knows? Oh, she's got her toy again. Look out. They're restricting flights in more airports. Oh, that's interesting. Hello, you. Hi. Yeah, hi. She was supposed to get her haircut yesterday. The groomer couldn't make it. Something happened. I don't know what. So the groomer's going to come early next week. So because she desperately needs a haircut, and she's back in her little bed again. That's good. Anyway, yes. No, I get very annoyed with. I don't like being talked down to, and I particularly don't like being talked down to by AI. And when we're live, it's like Anyway. Train it. Yeah, I mean, I have trained it to the degree I can, but I'm not sure what to even like what it just did. How do you train it to get to the point? You asked yours to talk to you like Spock, only facts that have been verified. Well, that is one thing I did tell it. I was telling it, I don't want you to guess. Or I said, if you're going to guess, I want you to tell me it's a guess. I want you to tell me what you know and what you found to be true. And if you're not sure and you're guessing, you need to say, I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess. And here's my guess. It still doesn't quite say that, but I tried to, because I was like, I don't want you telling me stuff that you don't know and stating it as fact. But again, hopefully it gets better as time goes on with that stuff. I'm forgetting who, whatchamacallum, whatchamacall was telling me, great CFI, Tom was telling me that for example, or not Tom, it might have been Tom, but I also read in an article the other day that we should be using sort of the deep think thing. I always put it on the thinking mode now for ChatGPT 5. So I never have it be the quick mode now. So at least it goes the extra mile, so using the same chat window. Oh, that's interesting. Really? It depends which chat window, which previous chat you click on. I just sort of go for the new whatever. I don't even click on any specific chat if I'm just asking new stuff. That's what Julian, I read an article about it saying that a lot of people they stick with the fast one. And if you don't mind waiting 10 to 60 seconds on something really big, you might as well just put it on the thinking mode, and therefore it thinks more. Has all your, well, yeah, but Ben, but what I found with ChatGPT is it jumps ahead. Like it'll answer 2 or 3 things and then start a new chat and then start a new chat. So I never thought the chats mattered or maybe the chat just as I go away and I come back, but I never thought it mattered because it's the same ChatGPT. I figured it was remembering things for me, or I was telling it, don't do this, do that, that it was doing it anyway. AI slop. I mean, look, I will say this, its writing ability is unparalleled. Now, what's funny is I told you, I've been like, I have seen people try to slip AI writing by me, and I was not happy about it in a professional setting. I was not happy, and it was shitty. I have used ChatGPT to help me with writing, and it's done an amazing job. Just an amazing job. But I will really walk it through what I'm looking for. It's kind of amazing. Because I'll tell it, so, I'm looking for this kind of a thing. Here's the audience. Here's the tone I'm looking for. And then I'll be like, here are some of the things I'm thinking of talking about. For example, like, I don't even want to give examples, but it's nothing I'm submitting as, it's nothing I'm submitting for work or anything like that. I wouldn't like write an essay for college, but I'm trying to think of I can't even think of what it would be like that I could give you an example of, but you literally kind of walk it through and you say, I want this kind of a tone. I'm writing for this kind of an audience. Okay, here's an example. Let's pretend, I know a woman who did this. She a postal worker was telling me she was filing a EEO complaint or whatever it is, like some discrimination at work thing. And that's a perfect kind of example, right? Where you sit there and go, okay, I am writing to this person. I'm writing about this. I am communicating with a federal office, so I need this kind of a tone. But here's my story of what happened. I want you to sort of digest it and write it more factual, more, make sure it's accurate, make sure it's not, because especially somebody who doesn't write as well, right? Make sure I'm not all over the place. Take my story, don't change my story, but take my story and write it out as bullet points or write it out as this much content. And then you've got to read it and make sure it got it right. Make sure it didn't miss anything. You could even say the tone is a little too fancy. The tone is too casual, but I have found it shockingly good at writing. Absolutely shockingly good. Blows my mind at how good it is. And it helps me brainstorm the writing, which is what I find fascinating. I literally tell it what the purpose is. And I say, this is the purpose. This is my audience. This is what I'm going for. And this is the background of what I'm writing about that I'm trying to get across. And then it'll also write it. And sometimes I've said, I like it all, but I don't like this paragraph. Or I'll even ask and say things like, well, do you think that paragraph is a little superfluous? Do you think that paragraph is really necessary? And I've already told it, which Fallon and others were telling me, I've already told ChatGPT, I don't want you just to agree with me. I want you to give me an honest opinion. Don't agree with me just because I think something's right. And it'll literally go, yeah, that paragraph, I'm not sure it's necessary. And what's interesting to me is it gives me a reason. It doesn't say, I don't think it's necessary. It says, I don't think it's necessary because I think you've proven blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. But it's giving me a reason. It's giving me a rather intelligent explanation. Like I've got a smart assistant that I can agree or disagree, but it makes me think because it's actually an interesting explanation. No, I've got to tell you, like on some of the research, I get worried sometimes. On the analysis, it blows my mind. So, like I said, the writing, it blows my mind. And again, writing sort of as a back and forth. I've used it a lot for that as an editing tool. Yeah, I've used it a lot because you can kind of, and again, I'm not sure what I would do for school or something like that. That I don't know, right? Because as I said, I don't love the idea of somebody using ChatGPT to write something for school, that's weird. But what I've been able to use it professionally has been writing things that it's helped me write it better. It's just been kind of amazing. I mean, okay, I have to think of I can't even think of examples right now to give you of stuff that I've used it for that it kind of blew my mind. School, you want to be really careful, obviously, right? You know, but well, I've used it to translate into Greek. Like for my Greek citizenship stuff I'm applying for, I wrote an essay, which I had it help me with the essay, but I mean, the essay is me, but I had it translated into Greek. And I then had a Greek lawyer who works on these issues look at it. He was helping me for free. And he goes, oh, the way he literally said to me, he goes, the way your essay in Greek is written, you're not going to have, he goes, with your Greek, you're not going to have any problem applying. And I said, okay, that was not my Greek. The essay in English was me, but the essay in Greek was ChatGPT translating into Greek. But he thought the Greek was good enough that it made it sound like my Greek was excellent, which was interesting to me because I can glean what it says in Greek, but there's no way I can get a sense of the nuance in Greek. I can't read it and go, oh, that's great Greek or it's bad Greek. I'm trusting it because the English is amazing. And the translations from Greek are also amazing. It translates much better, I find, than Google and other stuff. Meaning I'll get something from Greece. Actually, there's a perfect example. I've got a young Greek relative who I only recently met, who again is helping me find some of my documents from the Greek government. And I told him, I said, he's going to go by one of the villages tomorrow and they may not be open, but I said, you know what, I'm going to write you a document anyway, telling you what I need. And this is something I actually did. So I said, and ChatGPT already knows about my Greek citizenship quest because we've been working on it for months. I have it saving the information. And I said, okay, ChatGPT, I need to get a document. I said, here, I'll tell you guys what it is actually. I said, I need to get my grandparents' civil marriage certificate. They were married in a church in 1927 in Greece, but the Greek government requires me to get the civil registration. You get married in a church and then you go to City Hall and you turn it in. Well, in Greece in 1927, it's not clear they went to City Hall because it's Greece. It's 1927. Everything was religious. So I need to ask the local government to A, look for my grandparents' civil registration of their marriage, and B, if there isn't one, write a letter that says we can't find a civil registration, and if they're willing to say, and in 1927, we typically did not register marriages civilly, right? I needed that in a letter, and I wanted it for this guy, and I wanted it to be explained clearly. And so I told ChatGPT, here's all my information. Can you write? I said, I need it very clear. I need like a memo, a letter, but it's super clear. And it took it and it did an amazing job. Actually, it did a good job. And then I edited some more and gave it, then I added some stuff and I gave it back. And then it edited it again. And it goes, you know what? It could be a little shorter and tighter. And it did make it shorter and tighter. It was insane. It was insane how much better it made it. So it made it a really nice, so that you could, so that a local government official could look at my letter now and go, okay, this is what I'm looking for. These are my grandparents, right? What I need you to do is 1, look for a record. 2, if you can't find a record, write me a letter that says you can't find it. 3, in addition, if you can, would you be willing to state in the letter that typically marriages were not recorded civilly? But very nicely, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Thank you, Hippie. Trust me, it's been fun. I've been doing this for 14 years, but it's really kind of amazing. Oh, hey, Mervin, thank you for that. It like I said, it blew all my information. I mean, my information, I gave it, who my grandparents were. I'm not too worried about the privacy issues of who my grandparents are. I wasn't sure if that's what you were asking, but it did a beautiful job of writing it. And I told it, I said, I've got this cousin in Greece. I need to give him the letter. I want to explain to him clearly what's going on in a way. And what I've also had, sometimes I've had it write it up and I go, you know what? That just feels long to me and it feels overwhelming. And ChatGPT goes, you're right. It's a little long. Let me see what I can do. and it changes it. And all of a sudden you look at it and go, that's a memo I can read, right? Like, because imagine trying to get somebody else to help you, like a cousin. The cousin doesn't know what's going on. You need it to be very clear, the steps, the information. It blows my mind. I mean, like I said, ChatGPT, I'm sure the other ones work the same way, but I do pay for it, yes, because I kept running up to the roadblock where it says you've asked too many questions, wait 3 hours. So I pay $20 a month and it's fine. You know, it blows my, I don't know if I could help Greeks get through this. It's not easy. Like I said, 14 years I've been attempting this. I only had a breakthrough this year. I mean, it's like getting some documents I needed. And even now it's still iffy, but what surprises me about ChatGPT is that it's so good at writing because I've seen so much bad writing. And I've seen so much where you read and go, that's total ChatGPT. That's total AI, right? You can tell. The good stuff, forget it. The good stuff, you're not going to know. It's AI. And that's sort of the point is I'm trying to think of what else in life I sort of knew this example in. Okay, I guess you could say a facelift or something. Right? I've never had a facelift, but like a facelift or a boob job or something, right? The good ones you can't tell. The ones that don't turn out, you can tell. Just because you can tell the bad or a bad dye job of your hair, just because you can tell the bad ones doesn't mean dye jobs on hair look bad. You can always tell. No, you can always tell the ones you can always tell. And that's the issue with, I think, AI and ChatGPT is I've seen so many essays like on Facebook. There's so much fake AI stuff on Facebook that I can tell it's fake, but I can tell it's fake because it's one of the ones you can tell is fake. The good ones you can't tell. That's what's fascinating. And I have found more and more that I'm getting very good at using ChatGPT to help me write in a way that is credible and real, but I'm not writing essays. I'm not writing anything for publication. So there's no problem there. I'm writing to a government trying to get information or whatever it is. Like I said, it blows my mind. And working between other languages, anyway, it's very cool. But yes, I've saved a ton of time working on the citizenship stuff using ChatGPT. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think you could tell. I think with the stuff that I'm doing now, you would look at it and not be able to tell. For example, I have been using it to try to write an essay, not for the Greeks, but to synthesize our family history into a much longer essay, maybe a short book, because I want the family history to survive. And a lot of it's in Greek. And I used ChatGPT, and originally it got a little screwed up. I'm going to go back to it again. But some of the stuff it did very well with. Some of it got confused and started losing information. Like it would lose paragraphs. And I'm like, what did you do? Like you literally wiped out one of my ancestors. They're gone. No, I didn't. It's like literally 2001, the computer, HAL. And it's going, no, I did not delete that person. I'm like, then find them. Where are they in the essay? They're gone. I don't know what you mean. And you're like, oh my God. So it does do crap like, or at least it used to do stuff like that. I don't know about now. Anyway, so yes, I am an evangelist for ChatGPT in some ways. I found it kind of amazing for a lot of stuff, and the research aspect has been interesting as well. Has been very interesting. It's been, but again, you don't always know whether the research it's giving you is accurate. That's sort of the problem, though. You've been writing a book of short stories on your fly fishing adventures in your life so far. I always wondered ChatGPT is cheating. It depends. Well, it depends. I mean, if you're publishing it, right? If you're publishing it, I doubt you are, but if you were publishing it, I would certainly consider ChatGPT as an editor. That I would consider, but it would be, I don't want you rewriting this. Okay, for example, you could have ChatGPT look at it and say, I don't want you changing anything. I want you to write me an analysis of what I wrote. Tell me what you would do. Tell me what you think is strong, what's weak, what I'm missing. That's interesting, but don't change anything. You can get the advice, take it or leave it, and then you rewrite it. That would be the most, for a student, for example, that would be the most honest way of doing it, right? If you are just doing it for your family and yourself, why not use ChatGPT? Sure, there's an aspect of like even me doing my family history. Yeah, it's more me if I wrote it all myself 100% from scratch. It's more of me in the book, but I've got too much information. I've got reams and reams and reams of data all over my computers of Greek data on the relatives and encyclopedia entries and family lore. There's too much. There's too much. I need it. It's my assistant that I can dump everything on and say, try to put this in a semblance of order. And then I looked at it and said, you know what? Let's do a section about this. Here's another article, translate it. Is there anything new and useful? And it goes, yeah, there's a couple new parts. That's stuff that I just can't do on my own, or I could. But since I'm not publishing this, I don't care. But it's fair to think about it, you know? Will I travel to Greece when I have my citizenship? Well, yeah, I mean, I can travel to Greece anyway, but I may go live in Greece when I get my citizenship. Also, it's a matter of personal pride as well. Is my spoken Greek better than what I can write? In my case, probably. Most of my languages, not most, in language in general, I'm a much better speaker than writer. People usually are better writers. They can read and write better. I speak better. And that's always been the case, French and Spanish. And my teachers always told me, they said, it's very interesting. You do better speaking, whereas most people do better on paper. Like they know it, but they have a hard time with this. My Greek, you know, it's hard with Greek because my Greek is still difficult. So it's difficult, but I don't know. I don't know with Greek, but Spanish and French and Italian, even it's much better spoken. Yeah. I would be a dual citizen. Yeah. Once and if I can get it, if and when I can get it, would I leave the US? Sure. I wouldn't denounce my citizenship, but I'd leave. Why not? You know? My mom tried to speak Greek to us when we were kids. The problem among other things was A, we're in America. It's kind of, it's difficult because the kids, you don't want to speak Greek. B, my dad was born here. And my dad, I didn't know this until he was older because he told me finally, my dad's Greek was great. He always thought his Greek was lousy. And we were in Greece when he was like 80 years old. And he would make me go up and ask for directions. And I was like, Dad, what are you doing? Your Greek is, he literally would sit around with the relatives and they would have this whole conversation, at the dinner table, like talking about every topic. For me, I could listen. Some topics I understood, some I didn't. It was not easy. Dad, every conversation he could talk about, he felt his Greek was so bad he didn't want to talk to people. He didn't want to ask. So I think with mom, my suspicion is with mom, he did not want to speak Greek with mom. he was fluent in English. You know what I mean? His Greek was, he thought, eh. So, yeah. So mom tried, but it's hard. We went to Greek school. We did all the right stuff, but it's very hard. I think it's hard to bring up a kid in multiple languages. I think it's very in beyond the country you live in. I think it's very hard, I just think it's very hard. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that's interesting. You spoke Greek in the house and you only spoke Greek to your dad here in the US, you mean? Well, see, that's one way people do it. They do it where the dominant language, so like my mom being Greek, potentially only speaks Greek to the kids. So like to the husband, she speaks both language or English or whatever, but to the kids, they know mom will only speak Greek to you. Now, mom's Greek was 8th grade level because she moved here when she was 8 or 8th, not even 8th grade, 8 years old. So mom's Greek was good, but it was still an 8-year-old's Greek. Her English got better and better and better. So you've got that problem too, right? By the time mom had us, she was, by the time she had me, she was probably 35 years old or so, 30 or 35 years old. Her English was amazing. She was a substitute teacher in English of all things, among other things. So mom's English was so much better than her Greek. Is she really going to talk to me, her kids, only in Greek when her English is better? Even though her Greek is fluent, her English is a much higher level. And I have that problem with French and Spanish too. Like my French and Spanish are great, but my English is so much better. It's uncomfortable speaking French and Spanish because if we're in a really good conversation about politics and life, I'm going to express myself so much better in English than I will in French or Spanish. And Italian, I mean, I'm fluent in Italian, I'd say, but forget it. Italian's even worse. Her Mexican mom's English was very good. Oh, Spanish got worse. Speaking at home, that's not spoken in the country you live in. Yeah. Any case, it's it's very interesting. It's very interesting. American Canadian citizen moved to Alberta to play hockey from Montana when Reagan was president. You missed the Reagan years, yeah. Ironically, ironically, families from Belize, they spoke Garifuna. I've never even heard of Garifuna. You're kidding. Never even heard of that. She never taught it to you. Your aunt, on the other hand, is just as fluent as she is. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun. The languages are always fun. So, but yes, we went from ChatGPT to languages. Oh, excuse me. Oh boy. Oh shit. I've got to make my dinner. I forgot about that. My rice is done. I've got to reheat some food for the rice. All right, I'm gonna get going, guys, so I can go and make a little make my dinner because I'm starving. I forgot. I'm like sitting here going, my head's spinning because I'm getting hungry. Correct, JTA. There's that too. Yep. All right, I'm gonna sign off, guys. Dinner. I've got some. I forget we talked about this. The curry chicken that's very good from whatever that frozen Indian food that's quite good. And I make better rice for it. I make some good jasmine rice. So it's very good. But I'm able to sort of stretch it into 2 meals, which isn't bad. So anyway, all right, guys, have a good night. I will tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow, 11 a.m. is the coffee talk for the monthly subscribers. So join me then. Join us, me then. That's Greek. Join me then. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you Monday. So thank you. All right, have a good night, all. See. Fallen and the other Greeks got the Greek joke. Join me then. All right. Bye, guys. All right. See you, YouTube. Thank you, guys. Oops. There's my end stream. All right. See you guys.